Hello YouTube, welcome back to my playthrough of Ace Attorney Investigations, and you guys told me that the final bad guy's testimony is going to be very difficult in this part. But anyways, let's get to the bottom of this. And I want Gusto, when Gusto wakes up, whenever he does, he seriously has a lot of questions to answer. Miss Bound, are you feeling a little calmer now? Yes. Good. Then allow me to get to the point. Regardless of your intentions, you broke the law. Yes, I understand. Nevertheless, I understand that you did what you did in order to prove Mr. Tangero's innocence. Therefore, if the real culprit really is someone else, then we have a duty to reinvestigate the case. What? What now? There is nothing to suggest that anything nefarious took place in the official IS-7 incident records. What? And right now, there is nothing to suggest that we should take Miss Bound at her word either. So our first order of business should be to arrest the culprit of the case before us, Miss Bound herself. Official records cannot always be trusted, Judge Gavel, especially since there are those prosecutors who think nothing of twisting the facts. Are you suggesting that the committee at the time overlooked such a prosecutor? Yeah, Von Karma. That's for you and your people to figure out. However, it is a fact that the autopsy report was faked. Seeing as Mr. Frost's body was only found just now, there really is something of Mr. Von Karma in you, Mr. Edgeworth. How so exactly? How dare she? By continuing defying the will of the committee and bending the truth to fit your needs, that's how ironic. How ironic is the evidence is not looking her way, and now she's saying that. Perhaps it is time you understand how I, no, the committee, sees this case. Oh, great. Here we go. The committee's view. She's gonna be really annoying, I know this. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report. Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangero convicted as an accomplice. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder. And this is how the committee sees things, is it? Here's the thing. The autopsy report was faked. There was no body found until now. Even if Mr. Tangero is convicted as an accomplice, that doesn't matter. This gives him grounds for a new trial. He has a right to have a new trial. It is. As always, I act solely in service of law and order. It sounds to me like all she's doing is acting in service of the committee and covering up the truth. And if I can't change her mind, there will be no saving Mr. Tangero or Miss Bound. The committee's view. The committee is willing to accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified Mr. Frost's autopsy report.
Hold it!
If you accept that Mr. Von Karma falsified the report, then why won't you reinvestigate the case? Exactly. Because the goddess of justice is never wrong. No. Her verdict remains true, despite Mr. Von Karma's manipulations. BS. Despite blatant evidence tampering, you sure your precious goddess is into that? Almost makes you think the committee might have other reasons for not wanting this looked into again. Further investigation is simply unnecessary since the goddess of justice has already spoken. Yeah, the committee doesn't want to reinvestigate the case because they would admit that they made a mistake 18 years ago and they sent an innocent man to prison. Is that right? Even still, Mr. Von Karma only managed to have Mr. Tangero convicted as an accomplice. I believe it was a confession that sealed Mr. Tangero's fate in the end. A confession secured by Mr. Von Karma, which should surely cast doubt on the final verdict itself. Samson Tangero confessed to the initial investigating officer, one Detective Ian Seidman. That doesn't matter. No. He was held without, he was held constantly in interrogation. He did not have a choice, held for hours. He was under constant duress. He was denied his Fifth Amendment rights. Von Karma even admitted that he violated his Fifth Amendment rights. This confession would be easily thrown out. This confession is BS. The official records state that it was his interrogations that led to the conviction. Therefore, all I can say to you is that the goddess of justice has already spoken. Unbelievable. She just won't budge at all. Are these committee guys really that big of a deal? In many ways, they are prosecutor's worst nightmare. So kind of like how the police are to a great thief, huh? Funny how you don't seem to have a problem working with the police when it suits you, though. I personally have come to believe that the real culprit behind the IS-7 incident is Miss Bound.
Hold it!
Are you suggesting Mr. Tangero and Miss Bound killed Mr. Frost together? Why not? You could even imagine they split their roles as thus. Mr. Tangero could have been the one to commit the act itself, while Miss Bound was to remove the body. Wait, what? The thought that we could ever kill Mr. Frost. You stole his corpse and hid it for 18 years. Is it really so surprising that you might be considered a suspect? Miss Bound has freely confessed to all of her crimes. Now is not the time to speculate about what else she might have done in the past. Very well, then let us pass judgment on what we know she did in the present. Her plan to poison and kill Mr. Gusto today was her attempt to frame him for Mr. Frost's murder.
Hold it!
Why would Miss Bound have chosen to frame Mr. Gusto for the murder? No doubt because he suspected her of being the real culprit. He may have entered what he thought was the Winter Wing simply to see the Gemini statue was genuine. Little did he know that he would be greeted by a trap designed to silence him, a trap that nearly worked. Do you have any evidence to support that line of reasoning? Unfortunately, Mr. Gusto remains in critical condition. It will be difficult to prove anything until he regains consciousness. In other words, there's little we can do for now. On the contrary, there's plenty we can do. You still have not grasped the situation, have you? Then allow me to spell it out for you. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 incident and the poison gas attack. Do you now?
Hold it!
All the evidence you need. In the matter of the IS-7 incident, we have a body, a murder weapon, and 2 suspects. As for the poison gas attack, we have the sources of the 2 chemicals in Miss Bound's confession. And as for you, Mr. Edgeworth, we also have enough evidence to see that you yourself will have to answer to the committee in a formal hearing. What? Whoa, that doesn't sound good. Don't worry, Malzarino. If nothing else, you're always more than welcome at Edgeworth & Co. Your Honor, I'd greatly appreciate it if we could stay focused on the matter at hand. Haha, of course. Now where was I? We have therefore determined that there is no need to investigate either case any further.
Hold it!
You really mean to assert that there are no loose ends left to investigate? None at all. All the evidence has been examined at length, and there's nothing more to be learned from them. Therefore, I see no need to further prolong this trial. This court confines the defendant, Miss Judy Bound. Your Honor, I'm certain there's something that still needs to be examined. The hammer is about to fall, Mr. Edgeworth. Only hard evidence can stop it now. Present what you think requires further deliberation now, assuming there really is anything left, that is. This isn't over yet, not by a long shot. There's still one thing we don't have an answer to. And it's up to me to point it out to Judge Gavelle. Okay. It's gotta be this. We have all the evidence we need to explain both the IS-7 and the poison gas attack. Location, Samson Tangro's mansion, Tangro's room. Date, December 24th, 18 years ago. Murder weapon, rock salt lamp. Prosecutor, Manfred von Karma. Defense attorney, Gregory Edgeworth. Statute of limitations expired 3 years ago on December 24th. Samson Tangro, organizer confectionery contest. Victim's body was found inside one of his creations, leading to his arrest. While in detention, Tangro discovered that he had taste disorder, which was subsequently cured via medication. Verdict, convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Artie Frost, also known as Paul Helique, under which name he was, a renowned sculptor in France, contested in the confectionery contest. Body was discovered in Tangro's room. Cause of death was blood loss following a blow to the head. No detailed autopsy report due to the body gone missing. A detailed autopsy report. They never did one fully. This might be it.
Objection!
No, it's not. When the music stops playing, you had the right answer. Would you mind taking a look at this? Am I expected to accept this as evidence? It appears to have no connection to my testimony. Judge Gavelle is tougher nut to crack than Mr. Winter, but that doesn't mean I should give up. Okay. If it's not that, it's... what else could it be? Detected salt, sugar, blood. Sugar composition matches that of sugar found in the pale blue liquid in Artie Frost room 18 years ago. Sugar detected in fountain water also seems to be a match. The case analysis?
Objection!
Oh, it is. I'm afraid there is still one question concerning the IS-7 incident that remains unanswered, Your Honor. Would you mind taking a look at this? What is it? They're test results carried out on the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case in the Winter Wing. As you can see, traces of blood were detected. The question is, whose? Until that question is answered, I hardly think you can claim to have all the evidence. There was blood in the Gemini case, so it wasn't Frost's blood. Why did I not hear about this from Eustace? Because Detective Gumshoe informed me of the results directly. I was planning to tell Mr. Winter about it myself, of course. You kept this to yourself until now, despite having no jurisdiction here whatsoever. Mark my words, the committee will hear all about what you have done here today. As ever, my interest is in the truth, and if mistakes were made in the past, they must be rectified. If you must report to me to the committee, then so be it. Also, guys, I purchased the arranged soundtrack that you guys told me about. I didn't have the soundtrack, but I purchased it. And this is the remastered arranged soundtrack, what it sounds like. You guys really liked it from last part. But in return, we must be allowed to investigate this case to the very end. That is not my decision to make. You will need to discuss it with Eustace. Guess who's back, losers, and with good news, too. Oh, it's Gusto. It was a close call for a minute there, but Carmelo Gusto is alive. Gusto. He made it.
You're the ones who found me.
Yup, long time no see, Gusto.
You're the attorney's assistant. You're grown, and you have an assistant of your own now.
An assistant? No. I am... Heh, he hasn't got the gig just yet. This is Gregory Edgeworth's son. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, at your service.
Fate moves in mysterious ways. I'm in your debt. You hadn't found me in time. I wouldn't be here,
thank you. Well, you're gonna go to prison pretty soon. Oh, you're very welcome. After all, if you hadn't lived, we wouldn't be able to ask you what really happened 18 years ago.
Huh? What are you talking about?
We figured out quite a bit while you were out cold. Including the fact that you're probably the guy who offed poor Artie Frost. Oh, he talks just like a New Yorker. Offed. Offed means killed. So when you hear that word, you offed someone, it means you killed someone. Oh, look at how nervous he's getting now. Well, what? Is that true? Miss Bounds set up a very elaborate trap to catch Mr. Frost's murderer. A trap that involved rigging the Piscus case with poison gas. Perhaps in light of that fact, you could tell us in your own words what happened back then. Or perhaps you'd rather exercise your right to remain silent. Oh, it's not that. Gusto's here, a fan of the old meditation, you know, and all that jazz. Wow, sleeping while standing seems pretty cool. That's one heck of a talent. Except there's no sleeping involved in meditation, Kay. Hey, Gusto, old pal, how about you snap out of it and tell us what went down back then when...
I was caught in the girl's trap, so I must be the killer? Is that your idea of a joke? I'm the victim here.
Indeed you are, Mr. Gusto, and there is no evidence that you have done anything wrong yet. Mr. Edgeworth and Mr. Fender are merely speculating. Rest assured that they have no authority here, and that you may pay them no heed.
At least somebody here seems to be on my side.
Judge Barry Gavel, it's a pleasure, Mr. Gusto. I will assist you in any way you may require. Perhaps you could begin by explaining what actually happened 18 years ago, Mr. Edgeworth.
Fine. You want me to prove I'm innocent, Mr. Prosecutor? I'll be happy.
Objection!
So this is how you mean to play it, Judge Gavel. You're hoping Mr. Gusto will help you to hide what happened instead of trying to correct the record. I believe only in the inviolable judgment of the goddess of justice. Except it is us humans who make the actual judgment calls in court of law. And so long as there are those who would use the law to their advantage, our rulings are valuable indeed. If you would use your position to further obscure the truth, then neither she nor I will forgive you. Haha, we shall see about that, using the goddess justice against her.
What do you advise, Judge Gavel?
It would seem that you are under suspicion because it was you who triggered the poison gas. Specifically by opening the Piscus case's lid. Would you be so kind as to share why with us?
Understood. I came to see Frost's sculpture, simple as that. I made a mistake with opening times and arrived a half hour early.
Miss Bound, was there no one at the reception desk at around that time? I had left the main entrance unguarded and unlocked just in case the killer made an appearance. I was also busy making preparations elsewhere, all the way up to the gallery's opening. So no, there was no one here on the first floor then. But I did make sure that all the wings were locked up tight, all except for the autumn wing, that is. I see. She did all that just to steer the culprit into the autumn wing. which is precisely where Mr. Gusto went. Sneaking into a building is pretty suspicious, however you slice it. Silence in the courtroom. I will permit no objections or interventions unless there is some evidence that the witness is lying. The courtroom, you know this is an art gallery, right? Mr. Gusto, if you could please continue by explaining why you opened the Piscus case.
I wanted to see Frost's work up close.
Using a blowtorch, he had to see Frost's work up close. How risky is that?
So I went to the Gemini, sorry. Guess it was supposed to be the Piscus case. And I saw that the lid was frozen on tight. So I grabbed the blowtorch from nearby and tried to open it. When I finally got it open, gas came pouring out.
Fascinating. His is the sort of flawless testimony attorneys can only dream of. Yeah, the everything sounds like a lie kind. I'm none too satisfied with Mr. Gusto's explanation myself. Alas, there's no evidence to refute it. Come on, there must be something.
It's Val's story you should be questioning, not mine. I'm not the one who set up the gas trap. She could have killed anybody with that thing.
Objection!
She turned on the sprinklers as soon as the gas was released. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was gunning for the killer and nobody else. That killer being you, old pal.
So you believe that self-confessed criminal?
Yeah, we finally have the killer in our sights, the true murderer. Miss Bound is far from blameless in this affair, and she will have to pay for her crimes. But so will Mr. Frost's killer.
You seem determined to pin Frost's murder on me, when I had no reason to kill him.
We'll see about that.
And you have no evidence to prove otherwise.
Can we really not prove that he's the killer, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Gusto fell victim to the poison gas, that much is indisputable. Yet no matter how suspicious his actions is, the present may seem, they prove nothing about the past. Yeah, but then what about you, Mr. Fender? There must be something we can do. You're right. We may not have evidence, but we have plenty of intel. Let's see now. If Gusto killed Frost, he must have had a reason. He claims not to have a motive, but that can't really be true, can it? Gusto inserts he had no reason to kill Artie Frost, but what's the motive? Why did he do it? If he did it, he has one. Not many people commit murder just for fun. In fact, your old man had a little back and forth with Von Karma about a probable motive too, remember? How can you possibly say that with any certainty? If their relationship had broken down for some reason, Gusto helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned. Cooperation ended. That could very well have been the motive behind this murder. Von Karma wouldn't let us talk to Gusto back then, but we can now. If we can put the pieces together, I think the picture we've been looking for might just emerge. Yes, I think you might be right. I need to think back over everything we know about the IS-7 incident, especially the questions that never got answered. And the finger marks. Were you the one wearing the gloves? Miss Scone denied that the finger marks in the frame were hers. But what if they were Mr. Gusto's? Perhaps he wanted to take a look through the Ultimate Cookbook for himself. Had Gusto's goal been to look through the Ultimate Cookbook all along? So he asked me to go put in a new cartridge. He seemed to think there should have been more shots left than there were. He took pictures of the cookbook! That's what he did with the camera. In other words, the film ran out sooner than expected. Yes, the number of shots he took didn't line up with the number of shots remaining. More film had been used up than Tango expected. Did someone else use a camera? He took pictures of the cookbook, but he thought maybe he just lost track somewhere along the way. My father noticed these things for a reason. I just need to piece them together correctly. In the absence of evidence, it's the only way to the truth. Get to the bottom of this now. More film had been used up than Tango expected. Did someone else use the camera? Had Gusto's goal been to look through the Ultimate Cookbook all along? This. I wonder if this is linked here. Did he take a picture of the cookbook? Yes! Photographing the cookbook's contents would be the perfect way to steal its secrets undetected. And what if Mr. Gusto did just that? What if he used Mr. Tangro's camera to photograph the book? It'd be the perfect crime, so much better than stealing it and getting chased by the cops. A sneaky snapshot or 20, huh? That could work. The only question is, when would he have done it? Good question. What about during afternoon tea? Didn't Delicia say that Gusto and Frost had missed out on the little tea party they had? Frost and Gusto didn't attend afternoon tea. Which brings me to the next question. When do we know for certain that Mr. Frost was still alive?
Then, after the contest began, nobody saw hide nor hair of Frost as he had secluded himself in his room. And the only person capable of entering his locked room was Tango, possessing, as he did, the only key.
Miss Scone, were Mr. Tangero's works the only ones you sampled? No, dear. I couldn't help myself. When I finished at my afternoon tea, I tiptoed over to Chili Wink's room for a little taste, too. Mr. Frost had kept to himself inside his room after the contest had started. But he was gone by the time Miss Scone snuck into it to sample his work. Meaning there's a good chance he was murdered before the end of the afternoon tea. Murderer's motive. Gusto insists he had no reason to kill Artie Frost, but Gusto helped Frost in the final, but the favor wasn't returned. Cooperation ended. Mr. Gusto, you and Mr. Frost conspired to create works for the contest together, did you not?
Uh-huh. So you know my little secret.
Mr. Fender was kind enough to inform me. Mr. Frost was in charge of the designs, while you were in charge of the flavor. Is that correct?
What can I say? I still had a long way to travel on the road to becoming a master confectioner.
But you only collaborated up through the semi-final. Something changed after that.
We both wanted to show what we could do, so show that we were better than Tangero.
Objection!
Then why did you help Mr. Frost with his entry for the final?
What grounds do you have to say that?
Your own statement, made to Mr. Von Karma 18 years ago. You told him that you had been working together right up until the day before the final. Mr. Frost's entry was carved entirely from blocks of flavored ice. Ice which would have needed at least a day to freeze. And whose flavors would therefore have already been prepared on Mr. Gusto.
Yes, which lines up perfectly with what Gusto told me, that he had helped Frost until the day before the final.
In that case, why didn't Mr. Frost reciprocate and help Mr. Gusto in return?
I can hardly be expected to read the minds of the dead.
So why didn't Mr. Frost help you in return, I submit that your relationship broke down for some reason, and that that became the basis of your motive for murder.
That's not how it was. Sure, we stopped working together, but it was all perfectly friendly.
You stopped working together in a friendly way. Kinda hard to imagine, but okay.
Besides, how do you think I did it exactly? You think I just strolled into Tangero's room and killed Frost? I couldn't have killed a man while Tangero was in there working on his chocolate pieces, could I?
Gusto couldn't have killed Frost with Tangero in his room.
So you see, it can't have been me.
I wouldn't be so sure. There must be a window of time when Mr. Tangero wasn't in his room. The tea time, and if I can prove that, I can prove Mr. Gusto had the opportunity to kill Mr. Frost. Afternoon tea. Frost and Gusto didn't attend afternoon tea. Timing of the murder. Gusto couldn't have killed Frost with Tangero in his room. We can be sure Mr. Frost was alive until the beginning of afternoon tea, making tea time the only window during which Mr. Gusto could have killed him. Are you satisfied with Mr. Gusto's story now, Mr. Edgeworth? Sadly, I'm afraid I'm still rather unsatisfied. But things are finally starting to become clear, and the truth will soon come to light at last. Do you mean to say that you have uncovered new evidence? Evidence? No. I was hoping I might convince Mr. Gusto to open up to us about it instead. Oh, is it mind games time again? It is. Mr. Gusto, I have a question for you. I said I have a question for you.
What is it?
You chose to make your entry for the final on your own. I told you I wanted to
test myself. I wanted to prove I was the best in the world.
If that were the case, then surely you wouldn't have chosen to cheat in the first place. So tell me, Mr. Gusto, why did you feel the need to team up with Mr. Frost? Here we go. Mind games. Mind chess. 18 years ago, Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost collaborated in the confectionery contest. But why did they work together? And why did they enter the contest in the first place? That's the information I need to get out of my opponent somehow. Oh man, this is gonna be hard. Look at all the pieces. Mr. Gusto seems to have a habit of pretending to be asleep when things aren't going his way. Let's start by focusing on why he chose to work with Mr. Frost. On my hand, now's the time to dig up the truth that was buried all those years ago. Let's see if I can do this. Find out why you collaborated with Mr. Frost. Why did you collaborate with Mr. Frost? Mr. Gusto, what inspired you to collaborate with Mr. Frost?
We were acquaintances before we were contestants. He was interested in entering the contest, so we decided to sign up together.
And your decision to pair up with a sculptor had nothing to do with your lack of faith in your skills.
You don't know me. We joined forces because we wanted to make the most perfect creations possible, that's all.
Wait, you couldn't do that on your own? I will expose all your lies in the end, Mr. Gusto. It's only a matter of time.
Sorry. Wanted to see if I could do an impression of you.
Turns out it's easy. He's having to buy his time as well, it seems. I'll need to pick up my words. Okay. I need to study my opponent's reaction and pick my own responses accordingly. Bide my time.
Frost's son and mine were in the same grade at school, so we got along pretty well too.
Oh, so you were just two friends who happened to try for the title of world's greatest confectioner. Wake up. When he's pretending to sleep, that's when you gotta press him. So every single character in Mind Chess has a specific, like, thing that they do. And Gusto's is he pretends to sleep. That's the key. Pretending to be asleep when the going gets tough won't work with me, I'm afraid. Mr. Frost is a sculptor, Mr. Gusto. I doubt he cared much about winning a title for confectionaires. In which case, he probably had a different motive for taking part in the contest, wouldn't you say? 3 pieces left.
Fine. It was me. I wanted that title. Frost was only in it for the prize, the ultimate cookbook.
I see. And since your objectives, dovetailed so neatly, you decided to work together. But then, something happened. A breakdown in your relationship, perhaps. If so, I want to know why.
Mr. Prosecutor, I'm still quite unwell after my brush with death. Pushed me too hard. And I'll be on my way back to the medical room.
No, wait.
And you better wrap this up quickly. I'm already dangerously low on patience.
BS. Mr. Gusto's trying to desperately make his escape, but he's not going anywhere yet. Not as long as he's still keeping things from me. So let's figure out what he was really after next. There's no time to lose. I need to pick the right line of questioning fast. Find out what he was really after. Did you want to appear on Bacon Bob? Did you want more than just a title? You two had your eyes on something other than a title, didn't you? After all, I'm not sure the title of World's Greatest Confectioner even counts for that much.
Now you're insulting, Dwayne the Confectioner? My only goal, was to win that title. I didn't care about anything else. You have no idea how much it would have meant to me.
Face it, you were never going to win. So we can't result to insults. That's the key. Okay, hang on. Bide my time.
Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you should see me now.
Oh, so you've improved.
You better have. I didn't do all that training in Zagpaw for nothing.
No insults. We can't rely on insults. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you guys told me the final fight against him is a bit difficult. Okay. Okay, I gotta keep 2 things in mind. When he's trying to sleep, and I cannot insult him. I can't insult him, and I cannot wait Okay, I can't insult him, and I gotta watch when he's trying to sleep. Okay, pretending to sleep. Did you want more than the title? Bide my time.
Look, my sense of design may not have been up to snuff back then, but you see me now.
Oh, so you've improved.
You better have. I didn't do all that training in Zagpaw for nothing.
Bide my time.
I looked up to Tangrel, you know. Spent hours poring over the designs of his work. Even used to watch a show with my son.
Sounds to me like Mr. Tangro's work was especially influential in your early studies. And with his recipe book, you might have even become the best someday.
Maybe. The book was a real treasure, no doubt about that. Any confectioner would have wanted it.
So you were interested in the book too. This. Heh, you claim that your only goal was to win the title. Yet you also seem to have an interest in the contest prize, the ultimate cookbook. 2 pieces left.
The greatest collection of recipes by the world's greatest confectioner. I can't say I had absolutely no interest in it. And even if I did, what exactly is so wrong with that?
Nothing, I suppose. Only that the book contained recipes for medicines, not desserts. And everyone who entered the contest supposedly knew that. I feel like I'm finally getting somewhere. I can't let him slip from my grasp now. Medicines. Was his son sick? Is that what might have been? His son might have been sick. I just need to stay calm and keep the pressure on. Next, let's find out why he wanted the cookbook. Did you need it to help you make syrup? Did you know what the book was really worth? Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was?
What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tangro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who wouldn't have wanted to get their hands on it.
I don't have a clue as to how to proceed with this line of questioning. I better try another tack. Do you need it to help you make your sweets? So your plan was to win the cookbook, and use it to help you with your own creations.
What else? A book like that could have improved my craft tenfold.
You could have made a lot of money if you'd sold it.
I don't know much about what was actually in there. But it was worth more than money, I'll tell you that.
Actually, the contestants all knew that it was about medicines. He's pretending to sleep again. You know more than you're letting on. Come on, Mr. Gusto, I think you know more about the ultimate cookbook than your claim.
They told us a little bit about it at the start of the contest.
Then you know what kind of recipes it actually contained, don't you? And that they weren't dessert recipes at all.
I see you did your homework. Fine, so you know what really was in there. The Ultimate Cookbook, or the Angel's Cookbook, to give it its proper title. It's a collection of chemical formulas and ways to synthesize new medicines nobody's ever heard of. Though he did know that the cookbook actually contained recipes for medicines. This could be an important clue. Did you know how valuable the cookbook really was? What kind of question is that? It was a collection of Tangro's recipes. There wasn't a confectioner in the world who would have wanted to get their hands on it.
Time to deploy my clue. Except you knew that's not what's really in there. Your designs may have improved thanks to your training in Zangfa, but you clearly didn't do enough work on your skills of deception. You've already admitted that you knew the Ultimate Cookbook was a collection of recipes for medicines. Thereby making your interest not gastronomical, but pharmaceutical in nature. You needed medicine, didn't you? You're a confectioner, Mr. Gusto. You had no professional interest in revolutionary new medicines, which suggests that your interest must have been personal. I bet you his son was probably sick. His son probably was sick.
I underestimated you. Fine, you're right. Winning the title wasn't the only reason I entered the contest. I needed one of the recipes in the book. It was for my son. He was sick. I knew it! I knew it! I called it! He was. Tell me more. That's none of your business. I've told you as much as you need to know.
I knew it! He looked rattled, but I can't let him off the hook. Let's find out what this mystery illness was. I've almost gotten to the bottom of this. I can feel it. Just a few more moves. Was the book necessary for him to get better? So you needed the cookbook to cure your son?
Yeah, nowadays you can get the medication he needed anywhere. But back then, the book was our only hope. Which is why I didn't dare waste my time on fancy tea parties. I had to give all to my work.
And what about Mr. Tangro's work? Surely that tea break gave you the perfect opportunity to go steal a glance at it.
And what makes you think I had the energy or time to care about what others had made?
But you cared about Mr. Tangero's work. You made it clear how much you cared about Mr. Work. What's more is that you were determined to win the ultimate cookbook. I seriously doubt you would have passed up on a chance to take a peek at your competitor's entries.
I had plenty of chances throughout the contest to see and sample my rival's work, you know. But each time I did, nothing seemed to have any flavor. Must have been nerves or something.
Nothing Mr. Gusto tasted had any flavor. That seems like it could be an important clue. Tell me more about your son. Tell me a little more about your son.
He was my pride and joy, and my biggest fan.
And you entered the contest in order to help him.
You clearly don't have any children of your own. Any father would have done the same. I would have done anything to help him. Anything.
Bide my time.
He would come and see me here at the contest venue, too, right up through the semifinal.
Really? He didn't get in the way of your work. If you were trying to beat Samson Tangero, surely you didn't have the time to look after a child.
Yeah, well, I wanted to do what I could for him. He said he wanted to always be the first to try my creations.
So he wasn't too sick to join you. You said your son was sick, Mr. Gusto, and yet he was able to come and join you for the contest.
He wasn't that kind of illness. Nothing life-threatening anyway.
This feels like it could be an important clue. What was the name of your son's condition? Could you tell me about the name of the disease your son suffered from?
You're a real cold customer, Mr. Prosecutor. Isn't it enough that he was seriously ill? Why would you force me to tell you more?
Time to deploy my clue. But it wasn't life-threatening, was it? You've already shared with me that your son's illness wasn't life-threatening. So why are you reluctant to share any further details?
It may not have been life-threatening, but that doesn't mean it hadn't been life-altering.
I see. That must have been very hard on both of you.
Of course it was. That's why I did everything I could to find a cure. We were desperate. He couldn't taste anything. Not even his favorite desserts.
That's what it was. He couldn't taste his... It was the disease that Tangero had. The illness that he couldn't taste anything. Did he have a taste disorder? As I understand it, the Ultimate Cookbook contains a recipe for a very particular medication. One that Mr. Tangero used to cure himself of his own taste disorder.
So he had it too.
Two, you say. So your son had his taste disorder then, am I correct?
How did I let that slip?
You've been asking me to believe that you needed to win the cookbook in order to cure your son. But was that really the case?
Of course it was. What are you saying?
I'm saying that I'm not so sure that that's true based on everything you've told me. Time to deploy my clue. You were sick yourself, weren't you? Taste disorders are difficult to live with. It isn't easy not being able to enjoy your food. You should know, after all, you just told me you'd experienced something like that during the contest. You said that nothing you sampled had any flavor. Those were your words, correct? Yep. Which would seem to suggest that you were suffering from a taste disorder. A confectioner without a sense of taste. Not exactly ideal. Are you sure it wasn't exactly your own condition you were seeking a cure for, Mr. Gusto?
I've had enough of your speculations. I managed just fine in the contest. Made all my own entries, no problems.
But you were working with Mr. Frost. Heh, sorry, but I'm afraid you're contradicting your own testimony. You already admitted that you and Mr. Frost had worked together during the contest. It's too late to claim you did it all on your own. You would have us believe that you are a man of principle, a dedicated student of the confectioner's art. Yet you abandoned those principles and conspired Mr. Frost to rig the contest. Also, you could cure your own taste disorder.
You got me, Mr. Prosecutor. As you said, my sense of taste was shot. My son's was fine. I kept it hidden for so long, 18 years, and nobody knew.
Sadly, you can lie to others, but you can't lie to me. Both Mr. Gusto and Mr. Frost entered the contest hoping to obtain the ultimate cookbook. For the medicine that would cure Mr. Gusto's disorder, and the money it would bring in for Mr. Frost. Thus, an uneasy alliance was forged. And that, I believe, is checkmate.
I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed aguzia.
Is that a real disorder? I'm really curious if that's real. Let me look that up right now. How do you spell it? A-G-E-U-S-I. Aguzia is a medical term for the complete loss of taste. It can be caused by various factors, including damage to taste buds, nerve damage, nutritional deficiency, infections, or underlying medical conditions. While aguzia can cause discomfort, it's not typically life-threatening. It is. It's a real condition. Man. I can't imagine something like that. Not having a sense of taste at all. You know. Yeah, I cannot imagine something like that. It's not life-threatening, but it's still messed up. What's aguzia?
It's a taste disorder. It makes it so you can't taste anything at all. A confectioner's worst nightmare.
Mr. Fender, is this what Mr. Tanjiro had as well? No, the big man had what they call dissociated taste disorder. Huh. Let me look that one up. Dissociated taste disorder, a special symptom occurring when only one or two qualities of the four primary tastes are disturbed. 11% of all taste disorders complain of this symptom. Let me look something up here, hang on. The difference between aguzia and dissociated taste disorder. Let's see what the difference is. While both aguzia and dissociated taste disorder affect the sense of taste, they are distinct conditions. Aguzia is a complete loss of the ability to taste, making an individual cannot perceive any taste sensation, sweet, sour, salty, bitter. This is the most severe form of taste impairment. True aguzia, where all taste is lost, is relatively rare. Dissociated taste disorder. Dissociated taste disorder, or selective aguzia, is characterized by the loss of sensitivity to specific taste qualities, while other taste sensations remain intact. Oh, so certain tastes, but other tastes they lose. For example, someone might lose the ability to taste sweetness, but still able to perceive salty, sour, or bitter taste. That's it. Okay. So aguzia is complete loss of taste, while dissociative taste disorder is partial loss of taste. So his condition is worse. Basically, some things he could taste just fine, while others had no flavor at all. Oh.
So he suffered too. Can't have been easy. Not when there wasn't a way to cure it on the market.
Which is why you needed Mr. Tanjiro's cookbook. You admit now that that was the real reason you entered the contest?
It was only one of the reasons. I wasn't lying when I said I wanted a title. When I put my mind to something, it gets done, and I won't lose to anybody. I may not have been able to taste it then, but I still knew my stuff was good enough to win.
Oh, so you went into the final thinking you stood a good chance of winning?
Of course.
What was it that Fender said about what Mr. Tanjiro thought of Mr. Gusto's creations? Mr. Gusto's creations were a perfect balance of flavor and design, at least up through the semi-final. But disappointingly, his entry for the final was subpar on both counts. Mr. Frost didn't help him with the final. That's it. Frost did the flavoring for him. On the semi-final, but then on the final. We were told that your entry for the final was far from the prize-winning taste sensation you described. What happened, Mr. Gusto? What went wrong that day?
Fine. You want me to talk? I'll talk. But you're not going to like what I have to say.
Oh, this is going to be good. My entry for the final.
Frost and I working together right up through the semi-final. I handled the flavor.
He did the designing. No! Frost handled the flavor and you did the designing.
But I wanted to face Tanjiro in the final on my own. You'll help, just me and my skills. So I helped Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone. If I didn't taste good in the final, it's on me. What can I say? I lack training. And that's all there is to it. Happy now?
There doesn't seem to be any obvious contradictions in this test, but there is. Frost was in charge of the flavor. Yep, not that I thought it'd be easy to get anything real out of him. He's managed let slip what really happened for 18 years after all. Why don't you try pushing him a bit, Miles Reno, see if you can't shake something loose. I think I just might have to, Fender. My entry for the final.
Frost and I were working together right up through the semifinal, and I handled the flavor he did the designing.
Is there any evidence that...
Hold it!
I remember that Frost was in charge of designing the work you both submitted while you handled the taste?
Yeah, he was a sculptor, a craftsman, and his sense of design was second to none. But he was clueless about confectionery, which is where I came in. We did each of what the other couldn't.
And boy did you not have an eye for aesthetics, not even for the simple stuff.
How do you like me now?
Oh, the national symbol of Zengpong. Oh yeah, it's Phoenix. That's awesome. I'll say pretty different than the stuff you were pumping out 18 years ago.
Behold the fruits of my trading. I've dedicated my whole life to my craft. But back then, we both needed each other's help, so we joined hands until the final. But I want face Tanger on the final on my own. No help, just me and my skills.
Hold it!
You were serious about winning the title then?
Of course! The art of confectionery is my life. Why wouldn't I have wanted to be crowned the greatest? But I still had a lot to learn back then. Guess it's no surprise my work wasn't up to scratch.
But the title wasn't the only thing you wanted. There was a cookbook too. And you wanted the book even more than you wanted the title. Isn't that right, Mr. Gusto?
Overruled.
Mr. Edgeworth, you are badgering a witness who is still suffering the effects of today's attack. I cannot allow this harassment to continue. I understand, Your Honor, but... Ignore him, Mr. Gusto. You need not answer that vile prosecutor's question. But please, do continue your testimony in your own time.
So help Frost with his entry, but mine I did alone.
Hold it!
So you're saying Mr. Frost didn't help you at all? But he'd helped you up until then, correct? It's a bit strange for him to stop so late in the contest, no?
Strange or not, true. Could he be... had his reasons to, I wouldn't know.
If he's lying, it's going to be a headache to prove. 18 years is a long time. Not unless that gizmo of yours is a built-in lie detector, Kay. If it did, I have stolen the show from Mr. Edgeworth long before now. Don't worry, Fender. I can tell when he's lying. No doohickeys assistance required. Please, Mr. Gusto, continue your testimony.
If it didn't taste good in the final, that's not me. What can I say? I lack training.
Hold it!
And yet, I heard that your creations prior to the final were scored highly for their flavor. So what went wrong? Was there some kind of cooking accident on that day?
No, nothing like that. It was, I told you, I had a taste disorder. My sense of taste failed me. It's as simple as that.
Mr. Frost's entry was complimented on its flavor. Your sense of taste hadn't failed you then. Did something happen overnight? I didn't think he's going to spill any more beans, Mr. Edgeworth. Then perhaps I should ask him about something else. Ask about the semifinal. Did something change between the semifinal and the final, Mr. Gusto?
Not really. The only difference between the semifinal and the final was that Frost wasn't helping me.
Hold it!
So you really completed your final entry without Mr. Frost's help.
I mean, I had his designs to lean on, but I knew I was still solid when it came to flavor. The visuals were the only thing that changed between the semifinal and the final.
You sure, Gusty, old pal. Gonna have to call you out on that one, I'm afraid. It wasn't just its looks that got a big thumbs down come judgment time. It got trashed in flavor, too. Doesn't sound much like a winner to me. Despite his confidence, Mr. Gusto failed at flavor, too. The lack of Mr. Frost's assistance shouldn't have affected that, so was there some other difference? An 18-year-old mystery. And the key to unraveling it is finally in my grasp. I just need to remember everything Fender told me about what he and my father discovered. Let me see here. Can I choose something else? Ask about Mr. Frost. You knew Mr. Frost from before the contest, correct?
You remembered, I see. My son and Frost used to go to elementary school together.
Gusto's son visited her father daily for the semifinal. But why didn't Frost's son visit?
Hold it!
It was no coincidence that you both entered the contest, correct?
Yeah, I heard about it first. Then I told Frost. I knew he'd be interested. He was always short of cash for his sculptures.
That's right. Mr. Frost was supposedly always in financial trouble, wasn't he? The cookbook is really worth that much, huh? I see that glint in your eye, kiddo. But don't get your great feet hopes up. It was worth a lot back then. But these days, you can find most of the stuff in there on any drugstore shelf. Oh, bummer. So literally every last contestant on only ever had eyes for the cookbook, I see. An 18-year-old mystery. And the key to unraveling it is finally in my grasp. I seem to remember everything Fender told me about what he and my father discovered.
Hold it!
I wonder what happens if I stay the course. Hang on.
Objection!
I can think of one significant difference between the semifinal and the final, Mr. Gusto. Gusto's son visited his father daily up through the semifinal. Your son. This is him in this photograph, correct? You told me he was here with you up through the semifinal.
He was. What of it?
Why wasn't he there for the final? What indeed? He was here with you until the semifinal, until he suddenly wasn't for the final. Yeah. Why? And just as suddenly, your work went from being lauded for its flavor to being lambasted for it. I don't think that's a coincidence, do you? He wasn't just spending quality time with his father. He was playing a much more pivotal role than that.
I just wanted him to see me hard at work, to show him I was trying my best for us. Who knows, maybe it was him being here that helped me do so well in those early rounds.
He talks a good game, but nothing about this guy screams, super dad to me. Indeed. Thankfully, we would only have to give such an ideal credit if his story were true. After all, how much could the encouragement of one small boy affect the taste of a grown man's work? Mr. Gusto prided himself on the flavor of his creations, but then he lost his sense of taste. He must have had a tough time maintaining his high standards after such a devastating loss, unless... I'm sure his son was here to cheer you on, but that wasn't all he was here to do, was it? He was tasting the food for him.
You're a very suspicious man, Mr. Prosecutor, but why not try answering yourself for a change? What was an elementary skilled kid doing here other than to support his father? To taste your creations. Your son knew the taste of your work pretty well, I imagine, Mr. Gusto. He was my biggest fan. Of course he knew it.
In which case, he would have been a good judge of whether something tasted on brand, so to speak, no.
What are you implying?
You've already told us that you were suffering from a taste disorder.
I'll admit it. You're good. I never told anybody any of this, but you figured it all out anyway. It's true. 18 years ago, I developed agousia.
No one knew about your condition. Indeed, I doubt Mr. Frost would have wanted to continue collaborating with you had he found out. After all, it was your job to make sure his creations tasted good. Therefore, your son wasn't just here to support you. He was helping you by taste testing your work. Dang, now it all makes sense. Frost's stuff tasted good because it really was finished the day before, when the kid was still here. What's so funny?
You have a vivid imagination, Mr. Prosecutor. Would you seriously think I trust a kid to tell me how to just taste my masterpieces? I have some pride, you know, even back then.
Did you now?
My designs may not have been much to write home about back then, but I always knew my work tasted better than anybody else's. You think I'd risk everything by putting my reputation in the hands of a child? This is just more speculation. That's all it is.
In that case, I have to speak with your son this instant. Let's see how much of a story he can corroborate.
Sadly for you, my son is no longer my concern.
What? What?
As soon as I got my sense of taste back, I went straight to Zenka to start my trading. And cut off all ties with the kid for good.
What? What? You abandoned your own child? And that ain't half of it. No one knows where he is now, even now. The cops have looked all over for him, but no dice.
So, still think you can prove your asinine theory? I'd like to see you try.
What a bastard, excuse my language. Like, he used his son. He manipulated his son. Literally, for that. And then when he didn't need his son anymore, he threw his son out. Oh my god, just for, used his son just to get the fame?
You think I care about anything else besides convection theory?
Think again.
I got my sense of taste back. What need do I have for a son?
Silence in the courtroom. While Mr. Gusto's words and actions may demonstrate a certain lack of humanity on his part, the gods of justice cannot judge him for that. Therefore, Mr. Edgeworth, I believe it's time for you to admit defeat. No. Yeah, give it up. 18
years is a long time for something to service now. Proof or otherwise.
Mr. Edgeworth, we have to do something. If we don't, the truth might be lost forever. Where are you, Detective Gumshoe? Can't imagine whose blood it could possibly be, but I'll get it tested right away, sir. Please do, Detective. That's the last piece of the puzzle. I'm sure of it. Once we know whose blood it is. Hey, Miles. Sorry to cut in on your mind palace time, but I was pondering something myself. Our friend Gusto didn't come here just to check up on the body, did he? He came here to cover up the evidence, the blood. You mean because he tried to open the case? Exactamundo. Think we have anything that might explain why he tried to do that? We might. If Detective Gumshoe can make it back in time with a certain piece of evidence. That's quite enough idle chatter, defense. Now if you... Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, thank God Gumshoe's here. Heh. Speak of the devil. I take you have the test results, Detective? Yes, sir. The lab just got back to me. Detective, please. Court is in session. Now then, am I right to assume that you are bringing us the evidence Mr. Edgeworth was just speaking of? What? Hey, no fair. Why didn't anybody tell me about any of this? It is indeed the evidence in question, Your Honor. It needed testing, so I asked him to carry it out. What the? Why is everyone always helping you? I'm supposed to be the one in charge here. Mr. Winter, I'm sorry I didn't involve you, but this is important. Can we at least hear what the detective has to say? Well, alright. So Detective Gumshoe, what did the test have to tell us? You're not going to believe this, but the owner of the blood we found in the liquid at the bottom of the Gemini case is Carmelo Augusto, the victim of the poison gas attack.
What are you talking about?
Thank you, Detective. You've been very helpful. Well, it looks like my suspicions were correct. What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? He wasn't trying. We have this all wrong. We have this all wrong. Gusto didn't come back 18 years later to get rid of the body. He came back to get rid of the blood that was in the case. Yes, what do you mean? Explain yourself. The blood implicates him. What is the significance of this blood to this case? Oh, I love it when Edgeworth does that. He does that. It's only the very thing the perpetrator of the IS-7 incident has been trying to hide all these years. The fact that your blood was found inside the Gemini case, Mr. Gusto, is as good as finding your blood lying right next to Mr. Frost's body. Why would there be traces of your blood there of all places, Mr. Gusto? This is it. He's done. He's finished. If you won't answer her honor, Mr. Gusto, then I will. There wasn't just blood in the liquid from the Gemini case. There was traces of salt and sugar, too. There were. And if you remember, one particular part of Mr. Frost's work was allegedly very salty indeed. Oh, yeah. You're talking about what Delicia told us back then, right? What was it again? day ever. I've never tried ice is so scrumptious in all my life. Really? Man, I wish I could have had a bite. Well, scrumptious except for the salty bit, of course. That was unbearable. The salty bit. It's in the other photo you've got there. This bit, the harpy thing. Gemini's liar. Yes, the liar, and only the liar, tasted as if it had been flavored with salt. There were no traces of salt anywhere else in Mr. Frost's entry. Very interesting. Then perhaps you can tell us, Mr. Edgeworth. Where did the salt on the liar come from? The salt lamp.
Take that!
This is the lamp from the IS-7 incident. Indeed, and I believe that the salt that gave the liar its flavor came from such a lamp. Mr. Von Karma established that both salt lamps were in Mr. Tangero's room at the time of the crime. One of them was used to kill Mr. Frost. And it was stained with his blood. But no corresponding pool of blood was found in Mr. Tangero's room. Right, because the culprit had chucked a piece of chocolate with that on it into the little stream. Furthermore, aside from the liar, no traces of salt were found anywhere else in Mr. Frost's room either. Hey, come to think of it, the lamps we found in Alicia's room were both broken. The lamps appear to be broken. Bulbs are smashed, both of them. Maybe they fell and broke on the floor. We never did figure out how the one that wasn't used to kill Frost got busted, but are we thinking maybe it had Gusto's blood on it at some point? Anyone whose blood was found on one of the lamps would have been a person of interest to the police. So the killer needed to hide the blood somehow, and in a way that wouldn't arouse suspicion. And you are seriously suggesting that the liar was used to do just that? I am. I suspect that the bloody salt was somehow applied to the liar so that it could be hidden inside the case. Because unlike the fountain water, the sculptors would have needed more time and care to test properly. And so he waited and waited for his chance to dispose of the liar undetected. Then the reason he's here today is 18 years ago, Mr. Frost's body and the evidence pointing to his killer were taken away together. This, of course, was not part of the perpetrator's plan, and thus a new dilemma arose. The possibility that the body, the incriminating evidence, or both, would resurface one day. So back he comes 18 years later, sneaking in bright and early to try and cover his tracks. Well, Mr. Gusto, are you finally ready to admit it? That you are the one responsible for the IS-7 incident.
Huh?
Mr. Gusto, it's all because of you, that Samson. Gusto.
So I finally got caught, huh? All these years later? Nobody came close back then. Not even the big shot prosecutor or the attorney. That's some impressive work, Mr. Prosecutor. I have to hand it to you.
You admit it then? That you murdered Artie Frost?
Sure I do. I did it. I killed him. But he only had himself to blame.
What do you mean by that?
He agreed to help me. We were supposed to help each other so that one of us could win. And whoever won was supposed to let the other use the cookbook. But on the day of the final, the rat finally showed his true colors. Seriously, Frost, we had a deal.
Sorry, I'm not helping you in the final. Our little agreement is over, Gusto.
But I helped you. I spent all day yesterday making the ice
For your pieces. Did you? And you can prove that, I suppose.
What do you... Wait. You were planning to betray me right from the start, weren't you? After Frost double-crossed me, I had to make my piece for the final by myself. And like you said, my son wasn't there, so I didn't have any help with the flavor either.
So much for the pride you claim to have in your ability to make delicious desserts.
Go ahead and judge. You have no idea what it was like for someone like me to lose my sense of taste. I gave up everything to become the best. Everything. I take pride in that. Something someone like you could never understand.
You're right, I don't understand. Do you take pride in the fact that you resorted to murder? Or that you abandoned your son? Why would I want to understand someone who could do such things? Oh,
A man can't afford to rely on their people. I learned that the hard way 18 years ago. My son never showed up on the day of the final. And in hindsight, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost was the reason why.
why would you think that? What exactly happened to your son?
How am I supposed to know? I told you, he's none of my concern anymore. And according to you guys, nobody knows where he is now either.
And you don't care. You're horrible. So if his disappearance, so too went your chances of winning, correct?
Yeah, I had to find another way of getting my hands on that book. That's when inspiration struck. I decided to skip afternoon tea and snuck into Tangro's room. It should have been so easy. All I had to do was photograph the formulas I needed to get out of there. But then Frost showed up.
I thought I might find you here. Stealing recipes from the famous cookbook, Toot toot toot.
Frost!
What's this, a cure for taste disorders? Oh no, that's just too tragic. A confectioner who can't taste anything, what will people say?
If you tell anybody, go.
You'll what? You can't even hit me, you miserable worm. Why you?
Frost shoveled me hard when I went to punch him, knocked me clean off my feet. I crashed into one of the lamps. Must have been when my blood got on it.
So Mr. Frost was the first to get hurt.
When it was all over, I realized I had to get rid of that blood somehow, so I scraped off all the bloody bits. I dissolved those salt shavings in some flavored ice mixture and brushed it all over the harp.
And that's how you made the evidence linking you to the murder vanish.
Frost was going to blackmail me. He would have made me give him money to keep quiet about my condition.
So you decided you had to kill him.
Yeah, I guess I did. Why would I let him live? Would you want someone holding something like that over your head? Besides, he's the one who drew first blood. Makes for a solid case of self-defense, don't you think?
No! Blackmailing somebody is not a case for self-defense. So that was the impetus behind it all.
Anyway, I initially took the lamp to Frost's room. Went straight there once I figured out how I was going to hide the bloody part.
Inspired by all the ice sculpting tools lying about the place, I guess.
You're not as dumb as you pretend to be, yeah. I figured I could use them to chip it off and grind it up. Once that was done, painting the stuff all over the harp was easy.
But why Samson? Why did you have to frame him?
I never meant for the cops to pin it on him. That was your fault. You and the rest of them. Why do you think I went to the trouble of placing the lamps and cloths back in Scone's room?
There's only one reason to plant the murder weapon in the room of another contestant. He was trying to frame Scone. And that's to cast suspicion on that person. What? You tried to frame me, Gusty Pants?
Yeah.
But why? Why poor old me?
I respected Tangrowth. He was the best. A true champion. I would never have wanted him to take the fall. But you're a fraud. Your work wasn't even real. You had no respect for our craft at all. You deserve to be punished for what you did.
Oh, Gusty, how could you?
And had you refrained from eating Tangrowth's work, Frost's body wouldn't have been found. My plan was to wait until Tangrowth was judging the room. That's when I sneaked the corpse into Frost's room and freeze it. But thanks to you found it before I had a chance to retrieve it.
I don't understand. Why did you need to freeze his body at all?
Why indeed?
Mr. Edgeworth, surely you must know. It was probably to delay the time of death. Why did Mr. Gusto need to freeze Mr. Frost's body? The time of death. To obscure the time of death. Mr. Gusto needed to freeze Mr. Frost's body in order to obscure the time of death. If they determined that the murder occurred during afternoon tea, he wouldn't have been an obvious suspect.
Bingo. Freezing Frost's body wasn't simple, preparing everything took time. So I decided to put his body in the chest in Tangrowth's room while I got everything ready in Frost's. At the time, it seemed like the perfect hiding place. Never counted on some gluttonous pharmacist showing up and making the whole ship collapse.
I still don't get it though. Why disguise the bodies in ice sculpture at all? The sooner it was found, the smaller the effect of the freezing it would have had on masking the time of death. Therefore, he needed to disguise it, at least until it's fully frozen. How awful! Using Mr. Frost's own work to help you cover up the truth behind his murder.
Ironically, Tangrowth would have been just fine if the body hadn't been found before I got out of his room. If only things had gone to plan, he wouldn't even have been arrested, let alone convicted.
You mean it was my fault? Everything that happened to Samson. It was all because I found the body. Don't let him get inside your head, Judes. None of this is your fault. If it wasn't Samson, it would have been Delicia instead. She would have been the one they arrested. Either way, there's only one person to blame here. That's Gusto. Exactly. You know, you can't look at stuff like this and just, you know, blame yourself for that. In the end of the day, it's Gusto. Gusto is the one who started all of this. He put all of this in place and did this stuff. I remember there was a case, that I remember my teacher talked about when I was studying criminal justice in college. I don't remember the state or even the year where this happened. The only thing I know about the state is that this happened in America. But basically, there was this guy that was a criminal, like some kind of gangster, and he had a gun, and he got into a fight with the police, and the police told him to drop the gun. The guy didn't want to drop the gun and told the police, like, you can't take me, or he was like, I don't remember his exact words. He was like talking crap to the police, and the police basically opened fire on him. They shot him a bunch of times, but despite the guy getting hit so many times, he somehow survived. And the same guy who was acting tough was like crying when he was on the floor, like bleeding to death, and he was like begging the paramedics to save his life. Save me, save my life. One of the paramedics saved the guy's life. The guy ended up surviving. He spent a number of years in prison. After the guy gets out of prison, what does he do? He robs some poor girl and shoots her in the head and kills her. And he murdered a girl afterwards, after he got out of prison. That paramedic who saved that gangster's life felt that it was his responsibility. He felt it was his fault, because if he hadn't saved the guy, that girl would have still been alive. And that paramedic actually went insane. The case is so tragic because the paramedic had to be put in an insane asylum, and he had to be put on suicide watch because he basically got he felt guilty over the girl's death. But in reality, it wasn't the paramedic's fault that the girl died, because he did his job as a paramedic. He was supposed to save lives. Regardless of who the guy is, it's his job to save lives. It's that guy, that scumbag who killed the girl. It's his fault. He's the guy who ended up choosing to do it in the end. So you can't really, the point that I'm getting at is you can't really look at things on this, you know, crazy thing, you know, going back and all this, and, you know, this is my fault, this happened. No, the one who's to blame in all of this at the end in this game, this is Gusto. Gusto is the one who put everything in motion. He is the one who killed Frost. He is the one who basically caused everything to fall into place like it did.
It didn't help that the initial detective was so bad at his job either. He never even told the prosecutor that the body had vanished.
So that Mr. Von Karma had unwittingly placed Mr. Tangerel under arrest in the absence of a body. I mean, I guess it would explain why he was so keen to wrap things up. Still, you'd think he'd notice something as big as that if he had taken a look at a few reports, right? Not if someone had been deliberately distorting the facts of the case, though. Either way, it seems Mr. Von Karma didn't know about the body until after the arrest had been made. But admitting that would have spoiled his perfect record. So he kept it to himself, and proceeded to prosecute Mr. Tangerel regardless. What a scumbag Von Karma is. Can this really be true? You don't feel bad at all? Somebody spent 18 years in prison because of you.
Sticks and stones, girly, sticks and stones.
What a jerk! I ought to arrest you right now, pal. I'm afraid I can't allow you to do that, detective. The statute of limitations.
So you noticed, huh?
Glad somebody did the statute of limitations.
The judge is right. You can't lay your finger on me.
What? Why? You just confessed to murder.
No idea, huh? I guess I better lay it out for you.
Why you can't arrest me? Statute of limitations. But wait, I think I know what we can get him on. Murder, 15 years from the time of the crime. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. That's the key right there. That's the key. He went to Zhengfa. He went to Zhengfa to study confectionery. He went to a different country. And because of that, it's suspended. That's what we got him on. We got him here. We got him here.
I killed Frost 18 years ago. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years. You do the math. You can't arrest me. You think I'd have confessed otherwise?
That's right. The statute of limitations is only 15 years. Is this really the end of the line? No, it's not. He's gonna get arrested. Once the statute is expired, he can't be charged, so. But I remember what he said. He went to Zhengfa. He said that earlier. If the suspect flees to a foreign country, the statute is suspended. How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. I never forgot that he went to Zhengfa. I'm afraid of both Mr. Gusto's confession and your deductions will have to be struck from the record. But even if Gusto's confession has to even if Gusto's confession cannot be used to convict him, it can be used to release Tangerel. Tangerel can be released from prison right now. He can get a new trial. And that Mr. Tangerel's conviction will remain in place. No! What the hell is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you right now? He literally just confessed to murder. Even if the statute of limitations expired, you can't keep the guy in prison. He's an innocent man. But we finally proven that the police never had Mr. Frost's body in their possession. Even if we can't arrest Mr. Gusto, surely Mr. Tangerel has grounds for a retrial on that basis. Does he? I wouldn't be so sure. I'm afraid that the goddess' judgments are somewhat harder to overturn than you might imagine. What an idiot. So the committee means for the verdict from 18 years ago to stand no matter what.
Bad luck, Mr. Prosecutor.
There must be something we can do. Something to bring Mr. Gusto down. Why you can't arrest me? I know the trick here. He studied Zengfa. This is the final testimony, the music that's kicking in. I killed
Frost 18 years ago.
Hold it!
The passage of time doesn't diminish what you did, Mr. Gusto.
It sure diminishes one thing, though.
Your ability to arrest me. Oh, we can arrest you. We can arrest you real good. I could have you in cuffs before you even blink, pal. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? This issue isn't as open and shut as you're making it out to be, Detective.
You can't touch me, it's too late for that. The statute of limitations for murder in this country is 15 years.
Hold it!
Depending on your actions over the last 18 years, the statute may not have expired yet.
This ought to be good. Alright, I got nothing to hide. If there's something you want to ask it.
Very well. Tell us where you've been and what you've been doing since the incident.
Sure. Not long after the contest, I was able to cure my thesis thanks to the formula from the book. And not so long after that, I went to Zengfa to buckle down and...
Oh my crap, this is it. Here, I remember he said this. That explains a lot. We tried to contact you after the fact, but I guess you were long gone by then, huh?
Could be. I left. Let's see. Around a year after the murder, it was before Tangro's last day in court. Going to Zengfa was the best thing I ever did. Flavor design. I'm the full package now.
Objection!
And all the backs of those whose lives you destroyed.
Want an omelet without a few eggs? Nothing, Mr. Prosecutor. Nothing.
You're evil.
Sticks and stones, girly. You can't arrest me, and that's all that matters.
Need more to work with. There has to be something I can get out of him. Maybe I can push him further on the statements he just made. Is there anything I should follow up on? His training in Zengfa. I'd like you to tell us more about your training in Zengfa, if you wouldn't mind.
Fine. I later went to Zengfa to train, and I finally became the best in the world.
Hold it!
Zengfa? And you were there for a while, I imagine?
Yeah, I left some time after the investigation had wrapped up. I've been meaning to go there and start my studies for a while. And thanks to the hard work I put in. My designs are now world class.
Whoa, that's amazing!
You like it? It's yours.
Really? Alright. My god, what an idiot. So he spent some time in Zengfa training. The statute of limitations for... hang on. I later went to Zengfa to train. This is going to be his undoing, his end, right now. Statute of limitations book. A book explaining the statutes of limitations on various crimes. Look at what it says, murder. 15 years from the date at the time. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. The statute is suspended from the time any accomplices indictment to the end of their trial. This. He's done.
Objection!
He's done. You're going to prison, Gusto. You're done. The statute of limitations for murder is subject to the following condition. The statute is suspended should the suspect flee to a foreign country. Which means that the time you spend abroad doesn't count towards the time under the statute. No way. So it's like someone hit pause while he was in Zengfa. It appears that there may be time left on the clock yet. But that will depend on how long you stayed in Zengfa, Mr. Gusto.
He was, 3 years exactly.
3 years, hold on. Nobody say anything until I've done the math. The murder happened 18 years ago, 18 years back. The statute is 15 years, and the 3 overseas. 15 years plus the 3 makes exactly 18, which means, no way. Mr. Edgeworth, you did it. The statute hasn't expired after all.
Bingo, 18 years exactly. Glad you worked it out for yourselves.
He's just been stringing us along this whole time. Why is he laughing? We're good, aren't we? We can arrest him now. I hate to break it to you, little sis, but IS-7 went out at the end of December. It's April now, which means, strictly speaking, it's been 18 years and 4 months since Frost's murder. If Gusto stayed in Zengfa really lasted 3 years in the nose, it's not enough. We're a few months short. Not enough, but...
What did I tell you? You can't touch me.
If we can prove that he was longer in Zangfa than he says, 3 years sounds way too convenient. I hate to admit it, but he's read the board well, and he made his confession. How unfortunate, Mr. Edgeworth. If only the statute had been suspended for another year. Those who would overturn the goddess' judgment must be willing to pay the price, should they fail. And you, Mr. Edgeworth, have failed. No! There must be something I can do. I knew it. Well, if the law can't bring Mr. Gusto to justice, then... Judes, what are you thinking? Don't tell me she's gonna try to kill Gusto. There's no need to go adding to your rap sheet just yet. We're not done here, far from it. Because there's still a way we can nail him. There is. Alright, Miles, real pep talk. I need you to think back over everything we know about the case. Gusto's overlooked one critical thing that you yourself were led to believe wrongly about. Which is, he wasn't there for Samson's last trial, remember? Best I can tell, he doesn't seem to know what the final verdict that came down that day is. Which means, there's still one way left to us. Crack open your Statutes for Dummies there, and take another look. 17 years ago, they really did a number in Samson and framed him like a pretty picture. But if we make good use of that verdict now, we can make Gusto pay in full for what he's done. Fender, are you? Those who would overturn the goddess's judgment must be willing to pay the price should they fail. Samson's my client, Miles, and I can't bring myself to use the source of his pain as a weapon in this fight. So whether we play out last card or not, it's gonna have to be up to you. Bringing Mr. Gusto justice can only happen if I use the outcome of that hard-fought trial. So, should I raise an objection and play that card or not? Raise an objection. My father and Mr. Von Karma. One sought to reveal the truth, the other to hide it. I know which path I chose to follow. The one that seeks to reveal the truth. Tanjiro was convicted as an accomplice, not the main guy. This court has reached its session. The record will state that Mr. Gusto's been found not guilty of all counts. No, Your Honor. Mr. Carmelo Gusto is absolutely guilty, and I refuse to let him walk away. His crimes are too unspeakable to go unpunished. Do you mean to suggest that you have grounds upon which to call for his arrest? I do. Now the show should just give us something that proves the statute of limitations hasn't yet expired. The statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment, to the end of their trial. That part right there.
Take that!
Okay, Mr. Tango's trial lasted a year, and though it ended with a verdict that couldn't have been more wrong, that very verdict may be what finally sees Mr. Gusto arrested. The date of the oh, I got it. It's the date of the trial. It's when he was convicted. The date of the trial. Okay, convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Convicted as an accomplice based on his confession. Yes.
Take that!
Is there a particular page that you would like us to look over? Suspect data. I'd like to direct your attention to the page concerning the suspect. As you can see, Samson Tanjiro was convicted as an accomplice, yes. Because he was convicted as an accomplice, we don't have the main murderer. And it took around 1 year from his indictment for that verdict to be reached. Yes, that does seem to be the case. The book you gave us details certain conditions pertaining to the statute of limitations for murder. One of them, as I mentioned, is that the statute is suspended if the suspect flees the country. Another states that the statute is suspended from the time of any accomplice's indictment to the end of their trial.
What? Tanjiro was convicted as an accomplice?
Yep. Oh, he said it too. Guess you were in Zangfa when the verdict came down. Samson was convicted as an accomplice, not as the main perpetrator. Which is clearly news to you, and not good news either. Amarate?
But how can that be? Tanjiro wasn't an accomplice to anyone. He was innocent, and you know, he...
Oh, we know it. It's what we've been trying to prove all along. And in a pleasing twist of fate, his wrongful conviction will be the very thing that sets him free. If you spend 3 years in Zangfa, and your accomplice Samson Tanjiro is on the trial for 1 year, it means you can still be charged with Mr. Frost's murder up to 19 years after the fact. In other words, the statute of limitations hasn't expired at all. The goddess judgment is infallible. But that of her servants, it appears, is not. It seems the prosecutor in charge of this case may have erred. Unbelievably, we may have no choice but to instigate a full inquiry.
No! How could this... You weren't supposed to be able to...
18 years. That's a long time to let somebody else suffer for your crimes. It's time to pay the piper, Gusto, and it's not a moment too soon. And if you notice, Fender did the same thing that Gregory Edgeworth did when he takes off the hat, and that's also Gregory's hat.
But I'm finally the greatest. My brilliance is recognized. I gave up everything for this. Everything. Even my son.
More's the pity. But you can't run from the law forever, because the bills come due at last. His theme song is so evil when you hear it, the way it's playing. Mr. Gusto's all set for his trip downtown, sir. Oh, good, which means it's your turn next, right? I suppose so. I don't think that she can be arrested. The statute of limitations actually applies to her. Can she? Dudes. I'm so sorry, everybody. I've caused you all so much trouble. But, thank you. Thank you so much for bringing Mr. Gusto to justice at last. I'm afraid there's no escaping the consequences of your actions, Miss Down. But those actions were born of the legal mistakes that were made all those years ago. We all know that. So allow me to apologize in return, on behalf of the prosecution. Oh no, I have no one to blame but myself for it all. Starting with those sculptures. Hey Judes, you think maybe you might want me to represent you? I'm not some nervous newbie anymore. And there's no way I'm letting you take the rap for everything. Oh, I'd be honored. Thank you, Mr. Fender. Oh, sorry, ma'am. But you gotta come with me now. Of course. Judge Gavelle, why did you lie to us? Lie? What are you talking about? You imply that there was no case for retrial, but as we've proven, that wasn't true. Surely anyone truly committed to seeing justice done would have called one as soon as the body was found. I am under no obligation to answer such questions. And you clearly have no intention of doing so either. Truly you're proving me quite a threat to the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence. As such, you give me little choice but to report back on your continued transgressions. No doubt you'll be called to appear before the committee in due course. Now, I must be on my way. What the heck? After you caught the real killer and everything? Isn't that what prosecutors are supposed to do? Regardless of how it may all play out, I will never regret what we accomplished here today. Mr. Edgeworth. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth! Yes. Why did you stick your nose in this case anyway? You weren't even on the job. My job is to bring the truth to light, Mr. Winter. Not only as a prosecutor, but as a person. I don't get it. I wouldn't expect you to understand, not as long as you believe that closing a case makes you a winner. That's going way over my head. I'm going home. What was that all about? Eustace still has a lot to learn is all. Milesy? Yes? I just wanted to say old Craigie Pegleg would have been so proud of you today. Oh, look at me tearing up. That, and thanks for helping poor Savvy, Poople. Of course. Hey, Edgy, looks like you cleared everything up, huh? So, what happened exactly? I was kind of busy sketching. Wait, where did Judy and Verity go? Wow, you really weren't paying attention, were you? Though I'm loath to admit it, Larry's sketches did come through for us on more than one occasion. Not that I'm about to tell him that. Quit it with the glaring, will ya? Whatever I did, I'm sorry! Calm down, Larry. I wasn't glaring at you. You totally were. You're just like your pop. He was a terrible liar, too. He was. Listen, I'm gonna head out. Need to fill Samson in on what went down today. You wanna come with me? Yes, of course. Great, then I'm coming too. April 2, 4:56 p.m. Detention Center. Visitor's room. So what's Mr. Tangerel like? I can't wait to finally meet him. Oh, he's a real sweetheart. You'll love him. Even while locked up, he can't help but make all sorts of cookies and cakes for everyone. It's why 3 p.m. Cakestra-vaganza is a thing for prisoners and guards alike. Really, that sounds awesome. You think there'll be any left for us to try? Didn't we find a few slices of chocolate cake in the prison the other day? Could they have been some of Mr. Tangero's baked goods? Gummy, what are you doing here?
I heard you all wanted to come see Mr. Tangero, so I volunteered to escort him. Hello, new friends. I'm Samson Tangero.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth at your service. And it's Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick, Kay Faraday. It's
very nice to meet you both.
Miles here is Gregory's son.
Is that so? Your father was very kind to me, and fought so hard for my case. But in the end, I betrayed him. I made a false confession and...
Don't worry, Mr. Tangero. Mr. Fender has explained everything to me. Sure did. And now we're here to tell you the truth about what happened 18 years ago.
The truth. Judy did all that for me.
Crazy kid racked her brain for 18 years until she finally figured out how to set you free. What can I say? Turns out she really would do anything for you.
Oh, Judy, I never did anything to deserve such devotion.
Come now, Mr. Tangero. I think we all know that's not true. The bond between the two of you has held strong for all these years after all.
You think so?
I guess I better show him. Which piece of evidence proof of the bond between Mr. Tangero and Miss Boundshare? The chocolates? Handmade by Bound, slightly melted after being kept in her pocket. The bond that they share.
Take that!
Those chocolates! Judy made them, didn't she?
Yes, she did. They're super delicious and sweet. Miss Bound continued making them just as you taught her, even after that fateful day. So that there would always be some waiting for you when you finally came home.
Judy. I bet they're beyond super sweet then, aren't they?
Very much so, I'm afraid. I only wish we could hand them to you.
Don't worry, sir. I'll make sure he gets them later.
Which would be a clear breach of prison policy. Not that I have authority now to stop him anyway.
Thank you very much. You know, Detective, something about you reminds me of Detective Bad. Really, pal? Because I look up to him a lot. He's my role model. You don't say. It seems like fate likes to bring people of all sorts together, huh?
You hang in there, Samson. Just a little longer. I should be able to get you out soon. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Nobody should have to wait 18 years to get justice.
Don't be silly, Eddie. I'm the one who should be saying sorry. Or rather... Thank you. Truly.
Samson.
Well, I guess it's my turn to wait for Judy to come home now. I better make sure there's something delicious on the table for her when she finally walks through that door. Don't let me down, Eddie.
Leave it to me, big guy. The IS-7 incident. It's been 18 long years, but this case we inherited from my father is finally coming to a close. Hey, Miles. Thanks for today. And sorry for forcing you to make the final call like that. Not at all. I simply made the call that felt right to me. Huh? What are you guys talking about? You know how Samson was wrongfully convicted. We had to pretend that he wasn't in order to nail Gusto. But to use his false conviction against him, even to save him. As his lawyer, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Yeah, I can see that. But now that Gusto's behind bars, I can finally start to get that wrongful conviction overturned. Yes, and I'm sure you will. Wait a minute. Does this mean that even if you were only doing what's right, if the false conviction had been overturned before today, Mr. Gusto would have gotten away scot-free? Yep. It's what we folks in the trade like to call legal contradiction. The law is far from perfect. Because of things like legal contradictions, right? Yeah, but you never know. Things might change. The law's always evolving, just like us humans. Your Uncle Eddie and Miles included, Amarate? Potential for growth and change. In people and the law, huh? So, Miles, are you going to keep fighting crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? Something tells me you've got a big decision ahead of you. One only you can answer. I know. Well, let's just say I won't complain if you show up at the office one day. And on that note, it's time for me to skedaddle. I owe you big time, and I always repay my debts. But for now, thanks again for today. I mean it. Did he seem kind of in a hurry to get out of here to you? He did. And honestly speaking, I'm the one who owes him a debt of gratitude. After all, he gave me the chance to reckon with my father's final case. When I was a boy, all I ever dreamed of was becoming an attorney like my father. But then, during my time with Mr. Von Karma, I learned the way of the prosecutor instead. Eventually, with the help of some good friends, I found my own voice and a new way to live. But now my career as a prosecutor is at risk of being taken away from me. It may be time to take another long, hard look at how I want to live my life, whether I like it or not. Hey, Gregory. Sorry for reporting in so late. It may have taken 18 years, but we're finally in a position to prove that Samson's innocence. All thanks to your boy Miles. I couldn't have done it without him. You should have seen him. The way he fought for the truth gave me chills. It was like I was watching you. Look, I know, I'm not half the attorney you were, but those guiding principles you tried to instill in me, I like to think I'm embodying them now as I carry on your legacy. Here's hoping. Your boy will be joining me in that soon. Am I going to fight crime as a prosecutor, or help people as an attorney? What is the right answer? Which path should I choose? That was a beautiful case, and that was probably my favorite case in the game so far. You guys were right when you told me that that was the best case so far. But this is a very long game, but we still got 2 cases left, guys. We still got 2 murder cases left, and that's the final 2 cases left in the entire game. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I'm curious to see what the next case will be. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed it, do drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.